Hello everyone and welcome back to the Silva Overland Railway here in Railroader. We are now on day 10 and we have new locomotive. This is Andrew. Now I'm going with blue. Can't remember if that's what I wanted to paint Andrew, but we'll figure that out. I don't know why you're still ringing your bell. One moment. Turn your bell off. There we go. Right now we're still doing some switching with the number 1. We have a lot of cars to go out today. But we're going to do this in 2 cuts. One going directly to Bryson and one continuing on to Robinson Gap at Alarka Junction. And then this afternoon we're going to get the next milestone, and that way we can start working on getting our way to Alarka proper. Now, we do also have some other things we need to get done, but I'm probably going to try and keep this a shorter stream today just because... Really? No people? You're kidding me. There's got to be people, right? Why are you not taking people? Wonder if I've got some weird mod thing going on. One moment while I investigate. I might have a weird mod thing going on. I did pick up a new mod, and that was, it's meant for, like, developing track things. New track alignments and all that, but I think it might have bugged the rest of the game, because now it's not picking up people. Let's see if turning it off helps. Oh, I meant to put that on that. Might need to get in and out of the game entirely, but we'll see. Yeah, hang on, let me just get out of the game and then back into it. Complete reset. I'll even no, I don't think I want to uninstall the thing, but we'll see if we can get this to work now. If it doesn't work, then maybe we just don't run people today. That would be bad, though, so let's see if it works now. Now, it is also possible that some other mod has broken passengers for me. I mean, the way mods work in Rarity, you never really seem to know. Oh, nope, now we're loading. Let's get back to the camera. There we go. So yeah, I think it was the track editor that was causing me some grief. Okay, so let's get back to switching. We want this car to go somewhere else. Probably just right here for now. Oh, and you can see that one of our internal box cars that we were messing with last time has come back. So that's good. We'll be able to switch with that today. I think that's the only one we've got besides whatever one we sent over to the hardwood factory. Oh, and of course we're also taking logs up. Now, one difference seems to be that instead of getting paid at the end of the day for logs, we get paid every time we deliver them. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we get both. That would be nice. Make up for the fact that we have to pay for repair parts at Scrapalachia now. But we've got Peter, and of course now we have Andrew. Andrew we picked up at the end of the last stream. You can see in very good condition, but in desperate need of an overhaul. I mean, we are, yeah, like 3 times overdue. So what we'll probably end up doing is we will take the cars over to Bryson, we will build an outbound train, but we'll have Peter take that outbound train back. Actually, where do I want to put you? I guess we'll put that there so that we can just throw these cars onto the caboose when we're done. And how's 11 doing? Is 11 ready to go? 11 seems to be ready to go. So let's tell 11 to head on over to Whittier. Now, if we want to check our research progress, as that is the main point of this Soul stream... Oh, I should turn the game volume back on too, shouldn't I? You can see we've researched up to 26,000 pounds of tractive effort. The biggest engine we can get now is the A26. We are still throwing money at it as much as we can. We're up to 5 logs on a car. Tomorrow it'll be 6, so I've decided that from now on we're researching boxcars. And we are also gradually working our way up to another passenger car. It is kind of nice to have more stuff. Now, unfortunately, we don't have any diesels or anything. I did add a mod for one, but we cannot afford that much tractive effort, apparently. So, diesels will be waiting. Alright, let's grab these. I'm gonna have this train take the caboose. But we should probably get another caboose at some point. I wonder if there's a good one on the used market. Yeah, I wouldn't call that a good one, but we need to go over to Bryson anyway, so maybe we should just get it. Once this train's clear, otherwise it's gonna mess with us. It might mess with us anyway, but we'll see. If nothing else, we can always shuffle some stuff out of the way to get to whatever caboose we buy. Now, again, I do have some stuff I want to get to tonight at home, so this may end up being a shorter stream. Stuff is related to Sumter, so we will see. And we dunk in. And go for the caboose. Alright, and we'll just have 12 hang out and wait because, well, you'll be coming back soon anyway. I suspect that we'll be doing another time skip as soon as our passenger train gets in. I don't think number 1 can get to Ela fast enough, so it'll probably just have to wait at the edge of Whittier for clearance. It does look like we've got a fair number of cars to pick up at Bryson. Would be nice to get another engine to dump in the scrapyard. We'll see how much money we have at the second interchange. And we got not every hopper, but a lot of hoppers to pick up down there. I think that's a cut of 10? 11. That's going to be quite the load. I think our T-17 can handle it, though. But in the future, that job will probably go to our C-25. I mean, worst case, we have to split the train somewhere, but it's not that steep out of Alarka Junction. And of course, oh yeah, we have all this switching to do. But that will come later. One thing to notice, the sawmill is still only on tier 4. Alright, you are ready. You're not going to make it to Ela in time, so just head to Whittier, Edge of Whittier, and wait. Hurry up and wait. Motto of the railroad. And we're not sorry about it. So once number 1 is clear, we will have number 10 come over and build the other train. And I think we want the Ela car on the end so it'll be in the right position going back. For now, let's get that caboose and see where it lands. Yeah, of course it landed over there. So I think our first step might be... Gotta think about this. What are we gonna do about that? I guess for now we'll just move all this over and get the caboose somewhere more accessible. Then we'll have to move it back, of course. What whistle did I put on you? Okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, it's 94%, so still very operable, but it's gonna wear out and we won't be able to fix it, so let's just take care of the problem now. You know? We should have enough parts at Bryson to do the job, and if not, Scrapalachia should have enough to fill it back up. Maybe we do this manually. This is taking a while. Alright, next grab. The headlight on front for now and just keep it there. Maybe we should actually just stick these cars down here for a bit. I know once we get our outbounds, we'll probably want to, or once we get the log train back, we'll probably want it to grab all the outbound stuff first anyway. Oh, well, the train brakes aren't going to do much, because I didn't hook them in. Actually, no. We'll put this one in front of the caboose. back we go. At least we got all the stencil cars in one place. I was worried it would put ours in the wrong spot. Like, put ours way at the front or back and away from the other stencil cars. That happened last time and it was kind of annoying. And we'll just leave you at the head for now. I guess I'm not too concerned if it dunks the caboose, because we're gonna have to go fix the caboose anyway. But now we go get the rest of the train. Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that whistle. Sounds like a dying goose. Maybe I should have had number 1 take all the rest of these cars a bit further up. It's probably fine. So let's see. Where are all these? Okay, so they're all going to be facing the same way when we do the switching. So there is that. Didn't even notice the hit. Keep an eye on the passenger train because we'll want number 1 to be going out pretty much immediately. And then number 10 will follow the may end up following the passenger train back the other way. Or it might just get ahead of it. I'm not sure. I guess it kind of depends on how fast we get our train put together. And we're almost done. Now, my original plan, of course, was for this engine to become our 1 freight engine, number 1 would become our 1 passenger engine, and the 440s would become area switchers, but that's not really how it turned out, because this engine needs some serious repairs. So for today, we'll keep everything in there, its assigned role for 1 more day. And then tomorrow, we will have the 440s become the switcher. This engine's the freight engine, and number 1 is the passenger engine. Oh, let me put the game goals up again. Turned them off when I did infinite rails. But you can see, we are trying to do this without debt. We want to connect Silva to Alarka. We want to complete all the research, and at some point, everything will be diesels. But we don't even have a diesel yet, so we're a long ways off from there. We don't even have diesel fueling facilities, come to think of it. Alright, what's our trains like? Okay. So let's have number 1 get ready, and then we'll have number 10 follow out. Or maybe what we do... 10 come to here, and 1... Okay, you're at the switch, so let's have 1 make its way to Hemingway, and then it can shove its cars up the mountain. Yeah, that should do it. Oh, did we have not have... Oh, I didn't turn the markers on. I left the markers there. We added another passenger car yesterday, so that's probably why. And we can crank these up to their maximum speeds. Let's get them... I haven't customized this yet. We're going to leave that Northern Pacific until we fix it. But let's get the markers on. And as our passenger train eases in, let's also get the passenger cars ready to go. We do want to turn this train around, and we'll do a time skip so that we can bring our logs down off the mountain pretty quick. And how many cars do we have? One... Just two to grab here. That one's pretty light, so it's already highballing. Number 10 is a little heavier, but it's also not very long, so well, it's doing fine as well. Yeah, next step will be to turn 11 around. It should be fine on fuel and water because it just left Bryson. Good job, Patrick. Good job. I'm going to go take another look at the cars that came in and see where they're all going. I saw 3 for Stenzel. Un, dos, tres. Those ones are for the sawmill. And those are all for the sawmill. So nothing for Hollowfield this time. One other thing we can do real quick is we can now queue these up for Tier 5. All the ones that weren't already. So we're going to do that. Because more tiers is more cars, which is more money. And if we want more research, we need more money. Scrapalachi doesn't do tiers, so we don't have to worry about that. And we just started serving Robinson Gap, so it's going to be a while before we can tier that one up. Alright, well, let's get you turned around. And we will tell you to head to Bryson. Coming on that track. Got a lot of cars to pick up here. Not that far behind number 1, actually. We will manual that as well. Because, again, the 440s have wheel slip. Which is kind of annoying. And let's get you done so that we can finally say that's the end of the train. Oh, well, I'll fix that in a moment. That was a bit aggressive. Nope, nope. Keep going, keep going. And now throw it in reverse. And let's do our time skip. I hope these people don't mind that, though we're going to be running backwards sometime. Can't remember if I've got all the seats facing the right way. There we go. Looks like they're all facing the right way. I wonder if someone's gonna do a car with walkover seats so you can, like, manually flip them all. That feels really tedious for something you're never really gonna notice, but it would be kind of fun. For reference, walkover seats were designed so that you could flip them over. They basically walked over their supports, so that on the next run, they could face the other way. Alright, and while you head to the station, let's have you go get the other cars. Looking at the sawmill right now. Yeah, we're still doing okay on logs, but good to keep it full as much as we can. Okay, number 1's approaching Gov Island, number 10 is approaching Ela. Of course, we are approaching the depot. Now, because the Hemingway and Alarka, we don't have a Y on that end, we're probably just going to have to run backwards coming down the hill. Probably won't bother to turn the train around at Bryson at that point. Get a little further up. There we go. Yeah, so no way to turn the train around here. Now, I mentioned earlier there's a mod that lets you do create track mods, and I've been fiddling with that. In fact, I'm not really going to show you because you can't really tell, but I turned it off, so it doesn't matter. But I was fiddling with extending this spur up here, which was the original line via Fontana down to McLean and Almond. Just seeing what I could do. It does seem like that messed with my ability to haul passengers. So that's why I turned it off, and now we're hauling people. But if I can get that figured out, it would be fun to implement as an actual, like, track mod. Oh, well, you're full now, so away we go. Just like something to add more, another place to get logs. There's also one that lets you, it adds a track here, and adds a track here, and adds a couple tracks down in Silva to make things easier. I'm not going to implement that because I do kind of like the challenge. I did also notice that the track editor has been pulled off of Nexus mods, so I'm wondering if there's something wrong with it. Maybe, again, the aforementioned passenger glitch. While we're waiting for... oh, well. What if I just tell you to go road like that? You should do fine now. Yeah, 10's going to be in Bryson pretty quick. I also turned off the waypoint queue, which I had on, and then I never quite got around to figuring out queuing, and it did a couple other things that I just found a little weird and irksome, so it's turned off. It might come back at some point. For now, 10 cars of logs coming down the hill. And that's now full, so next time we bring cars here, it's gonna start loading them up pretty quick. I do want to double check. I think I had the car at Bryson still. The one of our cars. Yeah. So, there's going to be just some delay getting that loaded up and shipped over because it's probably going to be one of the last cars in and therefore one of the last ones to load. But we can work with that. We can make that work. It would be nice to get a full turn a day out of this in the future, though. That is a lot of logs for 1440, but we're doing it, so we will do it. Oh, you need coal and water. I don't think you needed that when you went up the hill. Or maybe you did need that when you went up the hill. We'll have to take care of that when we get to the bottom. But for now, come on, Nicholas. You don't have to slip like that. Pretty soon you're going to be braking anyway. Yeah, there you go. Just making our way down the canyon. Let's find it. What's a good vantage point? How about right here? Just go trackside for a little bit. Little yoink around the corner. Ought to make a fun thumbnail. Hello, AJ Mercer. Hope you're enjoying the stream tonight. And slipping again. This thing cannot figure out how to apply power without slipping, can it? We're almost down, though, so we should be fine. And 1 is tackling the hill outside of Bryson, and 10 is about to be coming in, and then we can start hopping and switching. Well, I think, let's see, there was 1 for the freight house, then 2 for the team tracks. And then we'll probably grab all these next. It just sounds like the easiest way to do that. And then we'll handle the team tracks once the passenger train is through. Oh, and we also need to get this car shuffled over there again. And get our caboose shuffled over. And now, my favorite song. And the very appropriately named one for what we're watching right now. The only reason I say that it's my favorite song in the playlist I used for these streams. It's technically not my favorite song from that album, just because the version I got also has Head of Steam on there. And Head of Steam is such a bop. But I'm not sure if it counts as the Hyce says you can use this, so I don't use it. Number 10 is coming in, so let's break away from Nicholas, and we'll go check out Andrew. Figure out our moves here. first step, we need to run around this and throw... Well, I guess throw all of these up there. Then bring these back. And then we'll do our switching with the caboose. Hello, Steamlance. I have seen the new Shay and Climax that Marquette Creations is testing. I'm waiting for the Heisler. I mean, Shays are kind of cool and Climaxes are pretty cool, but I am waiting on the Heisler. I am totally not biased at all. The avatar I use on YouTube, that says nothing. That has nothing to do with why I'm biased towards Heislers whatsoever. Nuh-uh. No way. And 11 is stop for switch. Oh, right, because I put you to that mode. Oops. Which means I should probably start checking some of these other switches. Yeah, the rest are good. Yeah, that would be kind of funny. I mean, in real life, it kind of varied on size, which one was more powerful. Typically, Heislers were faster than Climaxes and Shays, but not necessarily stronger as a result. They didn't have as much tractive effort, but they had, even if they had similar power. I don't remember the exact formulas, but like, basically, if you power means you have either more tractive effort. More power would be either more tractive effort at same speed or more speed for the same tractive effort. You can think of it that way. Okay, so you are done there. Let's have you start picking up all these cars. You're gonna want all those logs. And, okay, perfect timing, because Andrew's now ready for more switching as well. So what was that? What was my plan again? Team track cars up there. A bigger Shay would be cool. I think the existing one's a 3-trucker. A 4-trucker would be pretty cool. I think a little 2-trucker would also be kind of cool. That way you can, like, progress your Shays upwards instead of just having a Shay, or a Climax, or a Heisler. Okay, so 60-ton 3-truck, yeah. So that's... I want to say that's on the upper end of 3-trucks, I'm not sure. Hello, Glenbrook Productions. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, big Shay like that would be good. So let's have you run around, and then you can start shoving these up the hill. I don't really want to do the run around up here now that there's actual cars to pick up there. Now we're really bouncing back and forth between things, aren't we? Yes, Glenbrook Productions, more caboose. It's a very battered caboose, and we're gonna fix it pretty quick, but we do have more caboose for now. We needed more caboose because we have more engine. So let's shove... Yeah, we'll shove that car in. And we'll leave these here Well, we'll leave that car here. And then we'll take all these, and we'll take the caboose with us. If it gets beat up more, that doesn't matter too much, because we're going to fix it anyway. For now, though, let's have you start grabbing cars. I think we'll want to take these out in 2 cuts. Otherwise, these engines start to struggle on this grade, which, as you might recall, is in fact a 2.2% grade. Given that there's a mod that adds a track like this going that way, I wonder what the grade on that is. I also wonder how you wove it between these. I'm not sure. Which one's gonna need my attention first? 12, 1, or 10? I guess we'll hang out with 10 for a bit regardless. So again, kind of my plan here is that because 10 needs to be fixed, once we're done switching Bryson, we'll put all the outbounds together on one track, and then we'll take 10 and the caboose over to the Roundhouse for overhaul. And then number 1 will come through and pick up those outbounds, possibly in the afternoon if I think it's going to be too much train. And that way number 10 can get its overhaul. Yeah, I knew KCS had the Gargantuan Shay. For some reason I thought that one was also a 4-trucker. But wow, yeah, 74,000 pounds of TE. As I recall, that Shay was also used as the hump switcher in Kansas City. Okay, and then the D150s had similar TE. Okay. But yeah, they used, I believe Kansas City Southern used their Shay as a hump engine, which made sense. It's not very fast, but you got power aplenty. And then, of course, there's the New York Central, which turned theirs into box cabs and used them as street switchers. That would be an interesting mod. Given that I think you can just type in what the value of the tractive effort is, that wouldn't be too hard to do. Just give like baby 040 massive power. But yes, apparently the Kansas City Southern had at least one Shay. I want to say they had 2 or 3 of them. And again, they were used as hump engines. There were a few roads that had geared engines that you might not think of. Northern Pacific had, like, I want to say 3 or 4 Heislers. UP had a few Shays. Rio Grande had a few Shays. Again, New York Central had a few Shays. And, of course, Western Maryland Scenic had the Big 6 Shay. I don't know if that's the only one they had. And our passenger train is now entering Bryson. Excellent, excellent. I hope that engine can make it up the hill. I'm not 100% sure if this engine can pull 3 cars up the hill. If not, we're going to have to leave one behind. Still a full train, though, so that's saying something. Yeah, it's been a while since I saw a picture of one of the KCS Shays. Go find a picture of one of the New York Central ones. Okay, the D150s had 52,000 pounds of tractive effort. And most of the Ford trucks were owned by the Chessie. Interesting. Chesapeake and Ohio would not have been the one I would have thought of to own shays, but I guess Western Maryland owns some too, so... I guess if they had a use for them, they had a use for them. Yeah, the New York Central ones are weird. But it was done that way because they were street runners and they wanted to protect all the gearing so, like, you didn't have a horse get drawn into it or something. You know, it's kind of like the reason that they had to bring Toby to Sodor because Thomas didn't have the wheel guards on the quarry line, which was technically a tram line. Similar idea with the shays. Make sure to protect all the stuff that could get caught in there on a slow-moving street-running train. $15 shays. Wow. Okay. You learn something new every day, and today that's what I learned. Okay, which track are we putting these on? I guess we're going to put those on this track. We're going to have to do this in a couple of cuts. Ooh. Hyce or Shay in Daylight. Ooh. I say don't give me ideas, but maybe you should give Broadway Limited Imports ideas. I think they've done a Shay model. They would totally do one in Daylight if they thought they could sell it. Be the slowest Daylight ever, but they'd do it. And yeah, I saw what you meant. The 153 ton or 150 ton 3-truck Shays had more TE than the 4-tonners or 4-truckers. I guess because you were distributing it over more wheels or something like that? No, the number of wheels doesn't matter. Ooh, Norfolk and Western had a 4-truck Shay. Tuscan Red Shay. Big stripe running down the side. Yeah, that could be cool. And also, for your research pleasure, if you want to call it that, someone out there, and I think there was only like 1 or 2 of them, had a left-handed Shay. So all the gearing was on the left side instead of the right side. Which also sounds like slightly cursed, but I guess if for that particular railway, that's how they needed it. And if it worked, it worked. Okay, higher gear ratio on the 3 trucks. Okay, that would also make sense. So we'll have this, we'll just drop all our stuff here for a bit. And while I'm thinking of it, let's go to Alarka Junction and we'll drop a fuse at the station. That way our passenger train doesn't end up running itself all the way down to the bridge and get stuck. And keep an eye on number 11's speed, because I want to make sure it gets over the hill. I might just have not enough faith in that little 440, but it should be able to make it. And then I guess we want our pickup. Oh! I guess it doesn't matter what our pickup order is, because everything's ready to go now. I guess we'll just grab this one first so we can pluck the sawmill car off. Oh, there are shays in the Norfolk and Western livery. Ooh, that could be cool. Yep, UP had 3 of the 3 truck shays. Rio Grande had at least 1. Possibly more, but at least 1. Might have also been 3. And I think both those and the UP ones where another railroad owned it, a little short line owned it, and then Rio Grande and or UP bought the short line and got the shays. And I want to say the Rio Grande didn't keep theirs very long, but UP did. Alright, so now you can pull through there. You're gonna have to shove forward. Incidentally, it's not, well, technically it's not Reno, but I did buy a little HO scale 440 recently. It's marked as VNT Genoa, but I think that was a twin to Reno, although it's got the big diamond stack on it. It will get lettered for Oregon Steam navigation. And unfortunately, no, I don't have a convenient picture to show you. It's one of the AHM Riverosi models. No, not the Shay, the 440. Ah, darn. Okay, so how do we do this now? I guess we put the caboose here and then roll back in? Yeah, something like that. Red River Lumber Company. I believe that's the one out in California that ran electrics. That's right, logging railroad with electric locomotives. Look it up, it's actually really cool. So now we're gonna have to pick all these up and then drop these. Are they at least in... Yeah, they are in a similar order. Only 1 for R1. I guess that's because we've got a car doing that run. Yes, Rio Grande had a Shay. Again, I think they had a couple of Shays. I don't think SP had a Shay, but I could be wrong. So we're going to have, I think, 12 cars coming down. So we'll just have the caboose coast into the back of this cut. So, bleed the car. Oh no. No. Okay, didn't mean to hit the handbrake, meant to hit the that, but that's okay. And yeah, we'll just ignore these notifications for a bit because I want to make sure this gets done properly. This caboose is actually in decent condition, and we should probably put it in the shop tonight. Now, the really funny they owned a Shay would be if the ATSF owned a Shay. Santa Fe Shay would be funny. Oh boy, Aspen Yellow Shay. That's funny. There you go. So close that, release. Cut it in, put it there. And you go get that. And Nicholas needs to, well, you've got that at least, so thank you for getting us more money. We'll grab this cut of cars first. And these ones I honestly might just let sit here for a bit and then we'll take care of the Stenzel stuff. Is that really a bad thing? Again, we should get paid more for this car, but It's hard to tell because it's like less full or has less capacity. Okay. So now we grab this cut and we shove everything where it needs to go. But yeah, Rio Grande Yellow Shea. I'm gonna have to go look for that. Okay, passenger train is at Hemingway, so for the time being, we will just have the freight train come to here. Because we're not going to make the passenger train wait at Hemingway for this monstrosity. In fact, I think we're probably not going to pick up the first round of outbound cars for Bryson. They only need to get to interchange by the end of the day, really, so... You know. I mean, if we go look at 10 again... Look at this car... on delivery. Oh, well those ones don't get a bonus for going out on time, I guess. Or going out early, I guess. That one does. So that one is paying us more. Video of it on YouTube. Okay, I'll have to go look for that. Zonk. So, first cut of cars goes there. And you now go... Oh, well, first, you require air, don't you? Air? Who needs that? It's almost like it's important or something. Still seem to have plenty of logs. We're filling up the pond pretty quick. We will probably need to go make a second run up the mountain later today. I mean, in fairness, SP was one of those very standardized roads. I don't think quite to the level of the Penzi, but they were pretty standardized. Warbonnet Shea. I don't know about that one. Maybe. Maybe. But how about this? Because Northern Pacific had Heislers, with big side tanks on them. Two-tone green Heisler. SP did own Shays through subsidized short lines. Yeah, well, I guess that makes sense. SP owned a lot of railroads. That said, I would not technically count them as SP Shays if they were not lettered for SP. Maybe if they were lettered for CP or Central Pacific or Cotton Belt, which by the end were more or less SP but paper company. But, like, I wouldn't count a Northwestern Pacific Shay as an SP Shay. So the SP subsidiary Shays became the UP Shays? Was this part of the Great Harriman split or something like that? Again, I might have to look that up. Just a thought. Is there anything in the morning run of scrappable stuff I want to pick up? I don't think so. Like, maybe that T-17. Oh, well, actually... I think we... let's see what else there is. Due diligence. No. I think that one's worth buying so that we can go scrap it. It is good to keep the scrapyard happy. It wouldn't surprise me if that's a Google error. I mean, it's believable, but it could be a Google error. San Pedro, Los Angeles, and Salt Lake Railroad. That is a Union Pacific subsidiary. That is how they got from Salt Lake City down to Los Angeles. And they did have some branches up into the mountains of Utah, so, you know, the shade there would make sense. Well, alright, so we'll have 10 leave these cars here so we can go get that one tank car. And 12 is running out of coal, so next step for 12, well, we'll drop these off and then we'll fuel up. And our passenger train has made it to its destination. It is stopped for the fusee. I'll tell you to load up for the other direction now. And train number 1 is also stopped. And again, we'll probably do another time skip. We got all these cars. Apparently the fact that we're out of coal here isn't affecting production too much. Oh, we're gonna block this crossing. I hope no one needs to go to... no one else gets to go to Standard Oil until we've gone to Standard Oil. That's our policy. Yep, Central Pacific did have the El Goob. In case anyone is not familiar with that engine, El Gobernador was a 410O experimental engine. As I believe, Charles Crocker demanded it be built. Leland Stanford tried to demand it not be built, but it got built anyway, and quickly found to be underpowered, or rather it could not produce enough steam to keep up with its supply. Largely relegated to a showpiece in Sacramento, where the idea was when a passenger train from the East Coast came in, they would wow the crowd. As soon as the train came to a stop, El Gobernador would go by on the next track with a long string of cars. Which probably wasn't an issue if A, they were empty, and B, the engine didn't have to pull them very far. But yes, ultimately broken up and scrapped. That said, the 480s it was built as an extension of were actually pretty good engines from what I understand. Okay, going to your UP shays, 511 and 1812, so long time apart, and a B32-2 and a C80-3 shay. Okay. Alright, do you have all your peoples? You have all your peeps. Let's skip time. When we get to 9:30, I will order another interchange. I guess I can also order the first milestone. So that way it'll show up at the next interchange as well. No, we need the last tank car, unfortunately. Yeah, that could be a good fun addition. At some point, someone's probably just gonna mod in all sorts of shays. The real question is, if we get all sorts of shays, will we also get our Willamette? That's how it's pronounced, mind you, and I want my Willamette, damn it. Okay, you are full again, so we will send you back to Whittier. And we'll have number 1 wait a little bit longer before following. But yeah, a Willamette would be fun to have. For those who don't know, a Willamette is more or less off-brand but superior Shay. Willamette Ironworks built them in the 1920s or 30s. After customers started asking for things from Shay, from Lima, the maker of the Shay, that Lima was not willing to put on them. So Willamette built their own, because the patents had expired. And once Lima realized, hey, people really like what Willamette is doing, they did it themselves and Willamette stopped building engines. I think a grand total of 35 of the Willamettes were built, and 6 survive, which, as numbers go, isn't that bad. And you could call... I've heard people argue whether or not Willamettes count as a separate engine. The Pacific Northwester in me says yes. The practical guy in me says no. There's enough differences that if we're going to refer to Shays, that I would say a Willamette is like half a type. Because it's a Shay, but it wasn't built by Shay, and there were some pretty notable differences. In fact, as I recall, one of the loggers in eastern Washington had a Willamette and then a Pacific Coast Shay of similar vintage and size and power. Put them to the test, and the Shay pulled 27 cars on the line. The Willamette pulled 29 cars, which isn't that much more, but it used 40% less fuel in the process. And no matter how much stuff you're pulling, that is a huge, huge advantage. That's a lot less fuel. So it's almost... So in that sense, it's almost a shame that Willamette stopped producing engines. You're doing fine on coal and water. You can probably just get all the way back to Whittier. I think we'll have you pause at the Arden Bryson. But you could probably just get all the way back to Whittier. Okay, so next steps. 10 goes to here. We do our team track switching. Then we grab our caboose and head into there. Team track switching maybe also waits till the afternoon. Yeah, I definitely agree, Steam Lance. I want Willamette in-game. It's distinct enough for that, but whether or not it counts as its own type generally... half a type. But yes, Willamette in-game. And then we get to watch as all the people who have never been to the Pacific Northwest butcher the name. Willamette is pretty common to hear, but it is in fact Willamette. Damn it. And that's how you remember. But of course, before I get a Willamette, I do want Heisler. Okay, so we've got all the cars from this end of the railroad. No, come on. Coupler. Coupler. Yeah, I will have to Willamette in one into existence. Willamette the Willamette. I also went to college in Portland, so our like alma mater outright said, "Upon the bluff high over the Willamette." So I am quite familiar with how you pronounce it. But then you come up to Washington and there's a bay called Willapa. Pronounced as Willapa, not Willapa. And of course, they're both Native American names. I'm not sure if they're from the same tribe. But of course they have to be different. And don't even get me started on if it's Wapato or Wapatao. I've been told it's the latter, but I always seem to recall it being the former. So I've heard, Glenbrook Productions. The thing is, it's also, like, the star attraction at the California State Railroad Museum. If you go there, you're probably if you're going there to see one thing, it's probably the cab forward. And, you know, besides the fact that it's huge, where exactly would you run it? Because remember that the big railroads are not entirely steam friendly at the moment. Depending on which one you talk to, they're not always steam unfriendly. But you'd have to find one that would commit to letting you run the thing. And given that it's cab forward, you'd want it to be UP, but UP tends to be the least friendly. Oh, I guess we can go this way. And BNSF barely has a presence there. It's on trackage rights in Sacramento anyway. So, really freaking big, and, really freaking big, and not much place to run it. 75-ton Willamette TE between a 70 and 80-ton Shay. Well, you know, that makes sense, because it's the size between them as well. Also, fun fact, all Willamettes were operated to their destination under their own power. And one of them, at least one of them, went to Montana. And a Willamette is not really any faster than a Shay. That must have taken a very long time to get that Willamette there, and I'm surprised the host railroad let them do it. They might have had it pulling a train to help with that. Okay, I guess we can tell number 1 to get going now. Again, we'll just come out here to Bryson for now. I hope I'm correct and you can actually make it out of here. Because there is something of a grade. Yep, restore it and run it on the main line. Gobbles! Okay, yeah, we'll skip the team track car for now because the passenger train is coming. But we will go ahead and get this flipped over. And yeah, team track stuff. Is there a time limit? Nope. Yeah, there's no time limit on this. So yeah, those we want to get to today, but it can wait till the afternoon run. And that'll give this guy more time in the repair bay anyway. "19 miles an hour on a Willamette. A bit faster than a Shay." Okay, okay. That's still pretty slow if you're on the main line all the way to Montana. Just saying. And we might pick up this car at least. Yeah, well, I mean, part of it for UP is the same thing as all the other railroads. It's you have to bring your own insurance to run on UP. UP will not pay for your insurance, and can you imagine how much it costs to insure a steam engine? Whereas UP is self-insured. Unfortunately, UP has been very also bitten by the profit bug, so they don't use theirs very much. Not that you'd really want to use them day in and day out anyway. Okay, so let's put this one there, and then when we're done here, we'll also go grab that tank car. Yeah, the Willamette would have been going from Portland area to, like, Missoula, Montana, I think. I think it's in Missoula now. Or maybe Butte or somewhere like that. But yeah, going from Portland, so it has to go up to Washington, all the way across the state of Washington, then across the northern tip of Idaho, and at least partway through Montana. Oh, passenger train is coming in now. So let's get the stencil cars dropped. Yeah, these ones do have bonus, so, well, that one's technically been delivered, but let's see. So that one is 61 bucks. Our car is 66 bucks, despite not, well, this one's a 30-ton car. I think that's a 40-ton car. So, yeah, we definitely do get a perk for using our cars. We're gonna have to get more of our cars. Okay, train number 1 is highballing. That's good. Maybe we will have 10 switch those out. Nah, we'll wait till the afternoon. Maybe we'll have it do it in the afternoon. It's kind of a funny thing, but you can tell the engine to go to overhaul, and then even when it should be like boiler off, wheels out, all that, you can still pull it out and use it, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Okay, and the track is not long enough for all 4 cars to be loading and unloading at once. It's barely long enough for 3 of them. So, you're just going to have to wait until another spot frees up. Nice thing about having this engine here, though, and being able to pull it out of overhaul on a moment's notice, as weird as that is, maybe someone should make a mod where if an engine's in overhaul, it can't be touched. But the nice thing is, if in the afternoon, if number 1 can't get up the hill, we can pull number 10 out to go deal with it. Are you... Okay, no, you're not set to go to overhaul, so we will do that. And we need to put 1 tank car right about layers. And that way we can run around it. We'll probably knock into that car in the process, but that's okay. But we do want this car getting loaded up as well. Meanwhile, in our scrap line, I don't know if anything's going to finish up today, but it's coming along. What do we got in there? We got a Little Pacific, got another Little Pacific, and we got a 10-wheeler. Just to make sure, okay, yeah, one's far enough away that shouldn't cause a problem. And of course our passenger train is off to the races. And completely full. We are making bank though, that is good. I like making bank. And now these two can go back. I wonder which one's gonna finish up first. Yeah, that one is. Just the way that the cars get dropped off. And it is a Skelly Oil Co. Okay. Skelly Solve? Is that what that says? Skelly's Love? No, that's not a love. Solve is about the only thing I can think of that would be. It is a fun tank car. I think that's a mod. I'm not familiar with the East Side Lumber Company's theme, Lance. I'm not surprised that there is one. I also haven't heard of a North Side or South Side Lumber Company, though, so... Just need a West Side Lumber Company. Maybe someone needs to get into the logging business. Okay, and now you head for the repaired. Well, actually, hang on. Where is number one? Number one's about to come in, so I guess you can go there. We'll see how long it takes to load this thing up with repair parts. We don't have a full thing here. There's 19 tons. We can hold 30. That's the downside to not buying much stuff to scrap. Is now we're not going to get as much of it. And of course, there's these spurs that we don't use for anything. I'm sure we will once MOW hits, because once MOW hits, we're going to need somewhere to, you know, hold the cars we use for MOW. Hopefully we get a few more tracks for that, actually. I could see our yards filling up very quickly. The east side one was near Portland, Oregon. Okay. Presumably... Yeah, I'll have to look that up. I do know there were a whole bunch of logging companies up northwest of Portland. An Eastern and Western Lumber Company. Okay. Yep, and West Side was in California down by Tuolumne or something like that. I think that's what the town is called. Tuolumne. Okay, so now you go get that car. Yeah, I think we'll just have, oh. I do think I'll have number 1 go fetch these cars. And that way we can get the sawmill car down to the sawmill. By the way, how's our log pond doing? Okay, well, we haven't burned through all the log cars yet. How are we doing load-wise? Not bad, not bad. Yeah, you're doing fine on coal and water. So, engine service. It's saying it's going to take all day, which I kind of figured, and it's going to go through... Between all of these, we're probably going to go through, yeah, over half the repair parts we have there. That is going to be a minor pain. Repair parts are expensive. Even when we get them from Scrapalachia, now it makes us pay for them. I'll probably be giving myself off-camera refunds for the Scrapalachia ones. If you say so. Okay. We will put these cars here. Yeah, these 2 cars are empty. They shouldn't add much weight to our train. Still need to get a bit of a run up the hill, but we should be able to do that from main team. Tawalami? 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 Tawalami. Tawalami. I could have sworn there was an N in there. Tawalami. Okay. Makes enough sense. I could have sworn there was an L in there, but I guess not. And you know, some of the narrow gauge track is still out there, just saying. I don't ever expect it to come back. Tawalami. Yeah, there's enough weight in the rest of these cars. We won't take all of them. We'll just take these top 2. And again, basically just for that guy. We probably should also stop in Ela and pick up that car. Tuwalamni. Okay, yeah, I thought there was an N in there. Log-wise, okay. I'm pretty sure the next time change we are going to have to go to do another log run. But I'm pretty sure next time change is also when we end the stream for the day. Well, I say that, but we might wait for number 1 to make it to Gov Island just to make sure that it can make it to Gov Island. It's kind of fun looking at my playlist because it's meant to start in the morning and then work its way through the day ish, and then you get to the end and it's night stuff. So like we just went through Moonrise, Night Job, and Twilight Train, And then there's one more, and then there's one called Wind Riders, and then the last one is Sunrise from a Moonbeam. And then we go back to the start of the playlist. I had a bit of fun setting it up. I don't pay too much attention to what order the songs are in. I used to put them on just shuffle. And then I decided, you know what, it'd be kind of nice to have some sense of order here. Alright. Peter, all the beans you got. Let's drag this one out of the way. And then we'll wait to do these ones until the car from Appalachian gets in. And that way it'll load up first and we can maybe send it out on another train. Heck, if I want to, I could just send it out on one of the passenger trains and have it get switched in. I'm not afraid to do a mixed train. Alright, 8 miles an hour. You're gonna need more than that. If I really have to, I can send 10 out to go help. I'd kind of rather not because it's, you know, it's in the middle of an overhaul. But I could. And we do have 5 times repair speed. We're paying a lot for that, but it's worthwhile. But this is only a T17. That is something to keep in mind. So let's just keep an eye on how well it's doing. Select, break off. And yeah, we'll just put it up here. No. I guess we'll put it here for now. Because when number 1 train come in, we'll just run it like that. Oh, I need to set up another interchange. That will, however, be a next stream issue. Oh, wrong engine went to the waypoint. You might go down to see the 3 in the summer. I haven't seen the 3. I mean, I know what it is. Haven't had a chance to see it in person yet. I've seen a clip of it, of the boulder. I have in fact seen a clip of the boulder. The boulder is not impressed with this mod. But I haven't taken much hard look into it. I get the gag. Mostly. I mean, I'm sufficiently versed in SpongeBob, even though I never watched it. Hardly ever watched it growing up. But through pop culture osmosis, I get the idea behind it. It's not just a boulder, it's a rock! Okay, so far so good. Knock on wood that this thing can make it up the hill. I do note I might need to go look up the short that WNCRR did on it again. Okay, we'll have 12 just go wait for a bit. And since we're not going to move the... Well, no, how about we have 12 go get ready to move the log cars? Because I suspect next time change, it will be moving. Oh, and you're done. So there will be another time change pretty soon. Alright, come on, number 1. Come on, Peter, you got this. You are my rock. You are the rock of the railroad. You can make this. Get it? Because Peter is Greek for... Dad, never mind. Okay, yeah, we're fine. We're fine. Peter's got this. Helps that I didn't try to overload it. I've done that in the past with other engines. How are you doing on coal and water? I think we'll have you top up on water anyway. Well, I think you're going to make it back to Bryson for water, so maybe not. Yeah, we'll just have 11 go back to Bryson for coal and water before it takes the hill again. Alright, almost to the summit, Peter. Almost there. We should be fine, though. So right now my tractive effort limit is 26,000 pounds. And if you look at our actual roster, you'll see we have 2 engines that are at 12,000. This guy, Peter, is 17,000. And number 10 is 25,000. It's at C25. Which we got for cheap on the used market, so that's why. Next step should be 29,000, because I put 6,000 down for research. Okay, Peter is over the summit. Huzzah! Well, you're at the summit. So, I think that'll unlock the Skookum and the little tank and the 1 tank engine. And maybe something else. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah, we still got a ways to go. So, I could have a Shay. Yes, that is true. Although I don't remember if that one's been released publicly yet. I'm not a Patreon for Marquette, so I don't get the early access like Angry Ragtimer does. I also threw down 1,000 on the boxcars. I don't remember what the price per weight is. I could look it up, but I'm lazy. So that might get me another ton or so. Correct. Number 1 is not the new engine. Number 10 is the new engine. We bought it used, and it was very much overdue for an overhaul. So we used it to get stuff over to Bryson, and switched Bryson, and now we're just going to put it in for an overhaul for the rest of the day. And if we need help getting the Alarka Junction cars over the hill, then we will pull 10 out of overhaul long enough for that. We'll have to, you know, slap the boiler back on and put the wheels under it again, but it can do it. Okay, yeah, Shay is still in beta. And, well, it might be Skookum for logging. But it could be the tank engine. Oh. Yeah, we picked up Andrew at the very end of the last episode. But I mean the very end. We, like, basically bought it, painted it, and that was that. So this episode was its first one being used. Let's do a time skip. We'll fill up the train of Patrick, and then we'll send it over to Bryson. But yes, Garen, we did technically get it last episode, but we didn't use it, and I wasn't planning to get it last episode. Nope, you're not forgetting anything. Okay, you should be ready to go now, so off you go. Yes, Steam Lance, this is the Silva Overland Railway. Oh, no, this is Patrick. You're right, this is, in fact, Patrick. And we are not sorry about that. I mean, we might be sorry in general, but not about that. And, okay, still don't need to take the log cars out. Looks like just the one car for pickup. And we left the other one in Bryson, so it'll take a while to get it here. Very helpful. Thank you for telling me it's too long to get there. End goal for tonight, I think it's just going to be to get this guy over to the yard, and then we'll tie up. So we're almost done. After this, I need to get ready for a trip this weekend. Which, I'm like 99% ready, but may as well be 100% ready. Do a bit of laundry, track down a couple things. You know, all the last minute preppy stuff. Yeah, I guess you're just gonna wait there, aren't you? So you can wait. And we'll just focus on number one. Yep, that is always true. In the afternoon interchange, which will be, again, next episode, we do have, you know, whatever cars for the industries that pop in the afternoon. Plus, we'll have the cars to build the Y at Alarka Junction. Yeah, then the last minute is all the stuff you realized, oh, I forgot that. Oh, I also need to go watch something. Meant to watch that earlier and forgot. I mean, technically there's a lot of stuff on YouTube I have in my Watch Later playlist, but this is one specific thing. Alright, we shouldn't have to wait too long. 11's almost here. So we went from 964 tons to 985 tons. So we didn't add too much weight. Still, 20 tons for an empty boxcar. Wow. Maybe a little more. That's like 25 tons. I guess I don't know how much coal and water I burned on the way out of town. I guess we'll follow the passenger train for a second. That does look really nice. I do really like the Boonton Coach mod. And not just because it has the Combine. Which is reason itself to like it, but, you know. It's also just pretty cool on its own. The look of them, that is. Now, I will admit, I'm not sure if the next stream I do, which will probably be next Wednesday, unless Leighton and Brett do another stream. That's why I didn't do one last Wednesday. I was watching that. Had to tease Brett. He used to be a coworker. But yeah. Anyway, as long as they don't do another surprise stream, I'll probably do one next Wednesday. I'm not sure if it'll be more Railroader or more Infinite Rails. Because I had a lot of fun on the last Infinite Rails stream. Normally I'd kind of do one for the update and then stop because I got bored, but this time I think I'm having more fun with it. I think it's mostly because they changed some of the track building tools. So go watch my last Infinite Rails stream. My game sounds are a little quiet. Yeah. Let's do that. I turned it down because I was playing Infinite Rails, and Infinite Rails is loud even with all the volumes turned down. It's kind of hard to remember what I do for this versus that. Ha! Yeah, that's the downside to Roundhouse Research. Yeah, that's the downside to Roundhouse Research. It will take into account your mods. So, and of course now you've got to, earn a lot of money with those two little things in order to research up even the base game engines. So, good luck. Add that or turn those mods off, start the game with the base game engine, and then turn the mods back on, because I don't think it backtracks your research. That might be the way you should do it. But then again, as I've noted in other streams, Roundhouse Research doesn't actually stop you from buying bigger things so long as they are part of the used market. So you could always use that. And yes, Steam Lance, the 440 is in fact slipping, or was slipping. So for whatever reason, if you run these things manually, you'll find that if you go to 100% power, it will slip. It will slip pretty hard. The AI does not realize this, so the AI just goes full throttle and it slips. It eventually gets up to speed, but it takes a while. Which is part of the reason I want to set these aside. The Skookum does the same thing, or at least the version of the Skookum I've got. Anyway, let's get back to number 1. It's about the battery bug to have something that could go farther. Oh yeah, okay, so it started you with the Fordson. Yeah, slipping is in the game, but I don't think any of the base game engines do it. Maybe there's one, I don't remember. But yeah, the 440 was modeled to have wheel slip. What's interesting is that supposedly they also added wheel slip and traction to Infinite Rails, and I haven't noticed it yet. Maybe I'm just not trying to pull, or maybe I just haven't pulled enough with a small engine yet. I usually use the V100, and that thing has power for days. Yeah, the articulateds do slip. And, you know, Skookum is one. I don't remember which one is the Jarl. Is that the big 2680? Or am I thinking of a different one? I might be thinking of a different one. The diesels might also have wheel slip. I'm not sure. I so rarely get to that point in this game where I have diesels. Oh, the Raider 2884. Okay. So the diesels might have slip. I'm not sure. And yeah, the M2 is the 2680. I've got that mod installed, but I am a long way from being able to buy one. I think they've shown up on the used market once or twice. Yeah. So if I didn't have my self-imposed rule of you have to be able to get it on the regular market to get it on the used one, I'd probably get one. And also if I had the money for it. But I'd have to get one that's really scuffed to afford one. Yeah, and again, the 440 is the only manual, like the 440 is the only engine, well that and the Skookum are the only engines I've seen that slip, and if you run them manually, they probably won't, because you can run it in a way that doesn't make it slip. The AI doesn't. So the AI will make it slip. And we are crawling through here. What's the grade like? Okay, I keep forgetting there is actually something of a grade through here. I meant to make this a shorter stream and it's not. Oh well. Ah, yeah. 100% throttle. I mean, there's no real Steam simulation, so there's not much reason not to do it. Just cycle on, cycle off, cycle on, cycle off. Okay, we're starting to get up there. And 11 is almost to Bryson, so we'll have 11 go get coal and water once it arrives. I don't think it can make a second trip over the hill without it. We'll go follow 11 real quick. Don't use notch 8. Really? Okay. Maybe with the diesels you don't really need to unless you're trying to go fast or you have a huge amount of load. I remember for a while it was bugged and you couldn't MU a diesel to a steam engine because it would go all the way one way, but then the steam engine that would change the reverser instead. And yeah, it caused some issues. Where do I have your waypoint set to? Ah, right there. We'll make it a little further up. I'm glad they fixed that bug, though. They've been pretty good about squashing bugs. Alright, to the service track. Just yoink through these switches at like 10 miles an hour faster than we should be doing. I did hear that Sam from WNCRR has joined the Railroader team. It'll be exciting to see what he brings. I do think it's kind of funny that a guy who does a lot with mods, is now a dev. He doesn't make the mods for the most part, but he shows them off a lot. Then again, what was the one guy? Zybok made a lot of mods for Derail Valley, and then he got added to the Derail Valley team. Okay, and now water. And again, the animation stops a little too low. And freight train is on its way. I think I saw that Angry has Bryson revamped installed. But I think that's another one that requires rail loader, and I don't use that, as you can see up here in the top right corner. And given Zamu being Zamu, I don't think I'll get it. And to be honest, unless I can figure out how to make a track mod and put it in here, because there is the way to do it with UMM. Although I've noticed that one's been taken down. Or at least the page is frozen, so might not be up there for a while. But if I can figure out how to do some track mods, it might be kind of fun. Even if it's just like put in a crossover here or something. Okay, all we're gonna do now is we're gonna put this car there. The only UMM mod I know of for Bryson is Scrapalachia, which I use already. So we'll stick this car there, and we'll leave the other ones. I hope there will only be one mod loader after MOW, but I don't know. Garion, I'm not sure if it's fully down or not. I just know that if you go find the link... if you go find the link and you click on it, and you say visit site, it says, this mod has been set to hidden. Not currently supported and or that has issues they are unable to fix yet. So hopefully this is a temporary thing. But yeah. We're pretty sure MOW is going to break Railloader and Strange Customs, and it might break every single other mod. Who knows? We won't know until it comes out. But yeah, so Gameroo's thing is down. I don't know if it'll come back. I hope it comes back. It's fun to fiddle with, if nothing else. I haven't figured out how to do an industry yet, but I was fiddling with the tracks. I'm not part of the Railroader Discord, so hopefully his comments were he was having issues with it and not necessarily that someone ordered him to take it down. If someone ordered him to take it down, there's one guess. Okay, they're not going to fix anything until MOW comes out. That's fair. Yeah, some of the old mods have broken with various updates. Alright, and there we go. We have now dropped off that car, and look, we got paid for it. We got paid a lot for it. We got paid $102 for that car. That is a huge amount. I am very happy with that amount. Oh, the modder server. Okay. I'm not in that one either. But yeah, I am very happy with getting paid $102 to drop my own car off there. Alright, our passenger train is now highballing out of town. Number 1 just needs to drop some stuff off over at the interchange. And then at the next time skip, it will be time for the interchange. And, oh, you're almost ready to go up the hill. I don't think I've updated internal cars yet. I keep forgetting to do that. I probably should do that. I saw that there was one. I don't remember what was involved in it. Let me go take a look. That's also a Gameroo, isn't it? Change logs. Fixes major changes. Ha, fixed payments once again. Okay. Okay, now it's up to version 2, so I should get that updated, shouldn't I? I can't say anything about the official Railroader server because I'm not in it. I'm just in so many other servers at the moment. But I guess if you play this game a lot, maybe it's worthwhile. In fact, maybe I should be in it, seeing how much I play this game. But I mean, I'm already an Angry server, and Midland server, and Hyce's server, and Mainline server, and a few other servers I can't even think of right now. So adding yet another one is just like, Oh yeah, I'm also in the Highball server. They're not touching any of their mods until MOW comes out. Well, in that case, I hope MOW comes out soon. Alright, folks, so we are, I think, at the end of the stream. We've got our little tasks done. We just gotta wait for the interchange. So, once again, I think I'll be back next Wednesday. Once again, 6 p.m. Pacific time. And I'll be either doing this, or I will be playing Infinite Rails. That is to be determined. But until next time, folks, I hope you all have a good evening. And, you know, do like, subscribe, whatever if you want to. Until next time, have a good night, go in peace, and take care.